Let's test out the 800 and the Anfibio multi on some gold here. I have 3 gold, 14 karat gold items here. I have a 2.5 gram 14 karat gold ring there. I have a 1 gram gold ring, and I also have, I don't know how heavy this spinner Jesus is I found the other day with my Anfibio, but I'm going to put these 2 rings on the surface here, and then I'm going to bury this small little pendant in the ground here, and I'm going to test both these machines on the gold with the small coils on them. First, I'll take this little spinner Jesus and I'll put it in the ground right there. Just put it in the ground right there, and I'll just bury it. Right. There's a lot of iron in this area, so I just don't have very much clean ground here to test in. So we'll just see what happens with it. And I'll just throw this ring right here and that ring right there, right? And I'll just put those rings on the surface there, and I'll just test them on the surface. I'll start with the Anfibio, and I have it in my normal settings here, 3-tone. This is what I usually hunt in, 3-tone with my gain at 89. Super simple machine, right? And I'll ground balance here. I'll ground balance here because it's necessary to ground balance while really low. There's just not really very many places to ground balance in my backyard here because there's so much iron everywhere. Pretty solid there. That gold, that 14, that 2.5 one is pretty solid there. I'm lifting my coil up about 6 or 8 inches off there, and I'm still hitting that 1 grammer. I'm still hitting this one about 1 foot off the surface there. And that's in 14 kilohertz. This is in 14 kilohertz. Now I'll put it in 20 kilohertz and see how it changes there. I'm in 3-tone. Oh, I'm gonna have some problems with the Equinox. I'll have to move it away here. That's how quiet the Equinox is, man. This thing goes crazy around other detectors, or sometimes in 20 kilohertz. It's hitting it really good, about 8 inches above there. Now for that 2.5 grammer, it's about a little over 1 foot. Still hitting it. I'm still getting numbers. Still getting numbers there about 8 or 9 inches down there. And now for this pendant here. And I found this pendant here in the ground. It was about 1.5 inches deep, and it was just jumpy, just like this right here. This is jumpy, and it reads 19 out of the hole. Pretty solid in 14 and 20 kilohertz. Gold just does that, you know. Most of my gold rings that I've ever found, when they're in the ground, they read up kind of high. And then once I get them out of the ground, they read up low. That's with my Anfibio and my Simplex and whatnot, and my other machines. Just gold sounds different when it's in the ground, man. And there's a lot of iron around here too. You know, you can't hear the iron because I have it down at level 2 right now. But when it comes out of the ground there, it reads solid 19, man. It doesn't even budge. It's also it's not something round there. Usually the rings, when they're deeper in the ground there, they sound pretty much the same. You know, this one's scratchy because it's not round. You know, it's just a weird shape to it. And I'll turn the Anfibio off here. And I'll try the Mine Lab on that 1 grammer right here. I'm in 20 kilohertz frequency. I'm about 1 foot off the ground there. I'm still getting a pretty good tone there. So this multi-frequency, or this 20 kilohertz, this coil is just spanking it. It does have a little bit bigger coil on it. That's a 5-inch coil. This is a 6-inch coil. So that might have a little bit to do with it. But it's just so stable. You know, the rings just sound so stable. You know, I'm almost 1 foot off the ground there, and I'm still getting a tone on it. You know, I'm not really looking at the numbers. The numbers are, you know, reads up as 3 or 5, but I'll stick it in I'm in actually I'm in Park 2 mode. Let me go back to Park 1 mode here. Look at how smooth that tone is, just smooth. I'm a foot off the ground here on that 2.5 grammer, 14 karat gold ring. Just solid tone, right? I'm about 10 inches off the ground on that one right there, and that one's actually a little bit more stable, because this one has a large piece of gold on the end there, so it's not going to read up really super solid numbers. As you rotate on it, you know, you're going to get a lot of different numbers on there. But that smaller gold ring is banging tough, man. And if you look at the numbers here, 9, 10, there's not much difference between the numbers there. You know, gold, sometimes bigger gold rings read up lower than smaller gold rings. Just, there's no rhyme or reason to finding gold. You know, you just get lucky. Watch this. It's still jumpy, right? Still jumpy. Gold, an odd-shaped piece of gold or silver is always going to read up really funky. Now I'll shorten the shaft down here, and I'll show you what these read up just in the air. You know, it's not a depth test. This is just what it sounds like. I'll dig that back out here. Hope I don't scratch it up. This is a cool piece of gold that I found. Where's it at here? That's what's nice about having a detector. You can find your stuff right there. I'll show you what it sounds like. Solid 5, right? Foot off the ground, or 4 or 5 inches away from it. It's reading up pretty solid there. A 5, you know. And this one's going to be pretty much the same. I mean, it's really solid. Once you get above soil, or once this gets underneath some soil there, it just changes it so much, man. Nice and solid. You know, any ring that I found on the surface reads up pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. And I'll take the Anfibio and I'll show you how much different gold sounds like. How much different gold sounds like when it's near the surface. You know, the deeper you get down there, the higher numbers you get. It's just weird. Gold is just a weird thing, man. Silver's not like that. Silver reads up just fine. You know, and it'll read up solid 19 right here. Just craziness, man. That's in 2-tone. I'll go in 3-tone here. And it's not hitting it very deep. Not hitting it very deep there, because I'm low gain. I'll go to 89 gain here, because I just factory reset my machine here a few minutes ago. I haven't saved it yet. Solid 19. So gold reads up different when it's in the ground, man. I've had several videos when I get my gold rings, when I find my gold rings, the numbers are jumping kind of high there when the deeper they are. I found a gold ring on Jewelry Hill with the Anfibio with the big coil on it, with the 11-inch coil, and it was reading like 89 when it was in the ground there. It was kind of hard to find, but it was a 14 karat, I think it was like 5 gram gold ring there on Jewelry Hill. The only gold that I found on Jewelry Hill was that ring there. Well, thank you for watching. Please subscribe.